How often do you see a guy who's the smallest on the floor, on the grandest stage of them all, be the difference maker? Well, you just saw it in the 2025 NBA Finals, when the 6'1" TJ McConnell seemingly became the one and only savior for the Indiana Pacers after their superstar Tyrese Haliburton went down. You might not be familiar with his game, but he's been doing this for 10 years. Yep, 10 years of being the X Factor, the glue guy, the one sacrificing every inch of his body for his team. This is TJ McConnell, from undesirable to undeniable. In the third quarter of the 2025 NBA Finals, the Indiana Pacers' hopes of a championship looked grim, facing a hostile Oklahoma City crowd without their number one guy. But there's one guy who managed to keep them afloat, who gave Indiana fans a reason to stay and watch the game: TJ McConnell. The 33-year-old vet single-handedly lifted the entire Pacers on his shoulder by scoring 5 straight buckets in the third to let the Pacers stay within striking distance. But of course, it wasn't enough, as the Indiana Pacers lost their second ever finals and gave Oklahoma their first NBA title. The battle might have been lost, but TJ's efforts will always be remembered. Little did the fans know he's been doing this since he was a little kid. Timothy John McConnell Jr. was born in Bridgeville, Pennsylvania, a small town near Pittsburgh where basketball ran deep in the McConnell family. Timothy John McConnell Jr. was raised in a home where the sport was both passion and profession. His father, Tim McConnell Sr., was a high school basketball coach with a reputation for toughness and success, while his aunt, Susie McConnell Serio, was an Olympic gold medalist and WNBA veteran. From an early age, TJ was surrounded by intense competitiveness, but none of it was handed to him. He had to earn every minute on the court. Growing up as the coach's son had its own pressure. Nothing was given, and expectations were sky high. He had to earn respect in a house that sees basketball as their life. He wasn't the tallest, he wasn't the fastest. At such a young age, he learned how to impact the game in his own way. He fought for every loose ball. Every possession mattered. TJ played like his life depended on it. At Chartiers Valley High School, under the intense guidance of his father, TJ turned into a monster on the court. As a senior, he averaged over 34 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds per game. Night after night, he torched defenses and lifted his team to a dominant 29-2 record. He was leading, orchestrating, and grinding. The accolades poured in: Pennsylvania's Class 3A Player of the Year, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Male Athlete of the Year, and a spot among the top scorers in WPIAL history. But when it came time for college offers, the phone stayed silent. The big programs weren't calling. Too small, they said. Too slow. He was only 5'9" at that time. Even if you're good, big college programs would still prioritize bigger guards. But TJ didn't flinch. He had to start somewhere. He committed to Duquesne University, just 15 minutes from home, lit the court on fire from day one. As a freshman, he was named Atlantic 10 Rookie of the Year. By his sophomore season, he was among the league's best in assists and steals. But deep down, he knew he belonged on a bigger stage. So he made the boldest move of his career, transferring to the University of Arizona. At Arizona, surrounded by 5-star recruits and NBA-bound talent, TJ set the tone. He wasn't the flashiest player, but he was the heartbeat of the team. With every steal, every dive on the floor, every perfect assist, he reminded everyone why he couldn't be ignored. He led Arizona to back-to-back Elite Eights, earned all Pac-12 first-team honors, and became the emotional engine of a national powerhouse. Years later, the Wildcats would honor him with a place in their Ring of Honor, not for his stats alone, but for his fighting spirit. For all TJ McConnell had done it, dominating in high school, leading Arizona in deep NCAA tournament runs, and earning lots of accolades. In the NBA stage, it wasn't enough. You guessed it, he was just not tall enough. In the 2015 NBA draft, 60 names were called. TJ's wasn't one of them. For a lot of players, that's the end of their journey. But for TJ, it was just another bump in the road, another reason to gas up. And little did TJ know, one NBA team kept a close watch on what was going to happen to him on draft day. That's the Philadelphia 76ers. The Sixers in the mid-2010s was, let's be real, dog water. The once decorated franchise has come off to their worst record in NBA history, with 18-64, granting them the 3rd overall pick in the 2015 draft, which they used for Jahlil Okafor. The Sixers were in the middle of what they call the process, drafting young, promising ballers with high ceilings like Joel Embiid. Philly's scouting department has been working overtime, even if after the draft's over they're still searching for gritty young guys who can develop and help them get over the hump. And well, one of those guys was TJ McConnell. He signed on to play Summer League, and he did what he always does, impressed with his hustle, his vision, and his basketball IQ. By training camp, McConnell had earned a non-guaranteed contract. By opening night, he had cracked the rotation. It was official. TJ McConnell was an NBA player. At 6'1", TJ's abilities inside the hardwood far outweighed his lack of height. The Sixers took the gamble on the guy from Arizona. But yep, a 6'1" rookie guard couldn't magically help a team destined to lose. The Sixers doubled down on their worst season ever and put up a blasphemous 10-72 record in 2016. They won just 10 games. 10. But for McConnell, it was the perfect storm. With few expectations and plenty of minutes, he had the space to show the world what made him different. He didn't score much, just 6.1 points per game in his rookie year, but his value wasn't in buckets. It was in the little things. He ran the offense like a seasoned vet. He posted 4.5 assists per game and recorded a top 15 assist-to-turnover ratio among all point guards. He pressured ball handlers full court. He dove for steals. He cut off passing lanes. He directed traffic like a floor general with nothing to lose. TJ McConnell wasn't fast, but he was quick, especially in short bursts. His first step wasn't explosive, but his timing was elite. He used angles, shoulder fakes, and hesitation dribbles to probe defenses. Once he got to the mid-range, that's where he was lethal. He had a deadly 10 to 15-foot pull-up jumper, especially going left. If defenders backed off, he punished them with floaters or turnaround shots. If they played up, he used hesitation dribbles to create separation and find open teammates. He wasn't flashy, but he was brutally efficient. Defensively, he was a pest. Think Patrick Beverley without the trash talk. His hands were active, his feet always moving. He couldn't switch onto bigger wings, but he harassed opposing point guards into mistakes. By year 2, he averaged 1.2 steals per game in just 26 minutes. The OG Sixers fans out there love TJ, and of course, they couldn't forget about his game winner against the Knicks. On January 11, 2017, the Sixers trailed the Knicks in the final seconds. The ball found McConnell on the left wing, back to the basket. He spun, faded, and released a buzzer-beating game winner over Carmelo Anthony. Pure. By his third season, McConnell became a staple of the Sixers' second unit. He served as the steadying hand behind stars like Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. In 2017-18, the Sixers won 52 games and made the playoffs. TJ, he played all 82 games, averaged over 6 points and 4 assists per night, and brought intensity every time he stepped on the floor. He was that much-needed jolt of energy that can change the tide of a game. On February 12, 2018, McConnell posted one of the rarest triple-doubles in NBA history. 10 points, 11 assists, and 10 steals. 10 steals. Only a handful of players have ever done it. By the end of his Philadelphia run, McConnell had carved out an identity. He was no longer just a scrappy guy. He was one of the most dependable backup point guards in the league. A coach on the floor, a locker room leader, a fan favorite. But in 2019, with the Sixers reshaping their roster to chase titles, McConnell's chapter in Philadelphia came to a close. It was time for a new beginning and a new challenge. But the foundation was set. The league had seen enough. And now he was ready for the next chapter. He was ready to wreak havoc in that second unit in Indianapolis. TJ signed a 2-year, $7 million deal with the Pacers. A heist for Indiana as they added one of the most prolific, versatile guards coming off the bench. The Indiana Pacers saw it clearly. They had a young, emerging core, and they needed a veteran presence off the bench. Someone who didn't need the spotlight, but made everything work better. TJ wasted no time proving his worth. In his first season with Indiana, 2019 to 2020, he played 71 games off the bench, averaging 6.5 points, 5 assists, and 1 steal in just under 20 minutes per game. But stats only told part of that story. What he brought was control. In a league obsessed with pace and space, TJ brought balance. He slowed things down when needed, pushed the tempo when it was time, rarely made mistakes. His assist-to-turnover ratio ranked among the best in the league. He was a stabilizer. Technically, his game hadn't changed much, but it had matured. McConnell's command of his mid-range was surgical. He'd come off a high screen, read the defense like a book, and either slip in a pocket pass to a rolling big or rise up for a soft high-arcing jumper. His floater was money. His instincts were razor sharp. And on defense, still a menace. He fought through screens, picked pockets, and full-court pressures. The 2020-2021 season became TJ's best career year. With injuries plaguing Indiana's backcourt, McConnell stepped into a larger role and thrived. He averaged a career-high 6.6 assists and 1.9 steals per game while shooting over 56% from the field. That number, 56%, is stunning for a 6'1" point guard who rarely shoots threes. But it reflects just how efficient TJ was at getting to his spots and finishing. On March 3, 2021, against the Cleveland Cavaliers, McConnell made more history, as he dropped once again a triple-double with 16 points, 13 assists, and 10 steals, with 9 of those steals coming from the first half, an NBA record. Talk about a textbook pest. That night, the league took notice. He's a difference maker. And when his contract expired that summer, Indiana didn't hesitate. They locked him up with a 4-year, $35.2 million deal, a massive leap from his rookie days scraping for a roster spot. McConnell had become the kind of player every playoff team needs, but few know how to value. He didn't shoot threes, he didn't jump out of the gym, and he wasn't going to score 30, but he made winning plays. He controlled tempo. He got stops when it mattered. He was the guy who'd play 6 minutes and change the momentum entirely. And in the 2025 NBA playoffs, it showed. He dominated, just not in a way your favorite superstars dominate. All throughout the playoffs, TJ's been Rick Carlisle's wildcard on the bench, giving the team solid, valuable minutes while their superstar Tyrese Haliburton gets his breather. In the first round, TJ exploded to 18 points in 17 minutes off the bench to close out the Milwaukee Bucks. He bravely took great defensive assignments against the deep bench of the Cleveland Cavaliers. He provided that much-needed spark on the Pacers' second unit, even though it's inferior to the Cavs bench on paper. And come the NBA Finals, where the lights are the brightest, TJ never shied from the moment. In the first 2 games in a hostile crowd in Oklahoma, TJ averaged 10 points and 6 assists in just 16 minutes off the bench. And in Game 3 in Indianapolis, he was just playing mind games with the Thunder. He stole not 1, not 2, but 3 inbound passes from the Thunder while dropping 10 and 5 on their heads. All of that in 15 minutes. He also finished the game with 5 steals. And yep, he made another history as the only player to tally 5 assists and 5 steals in under 16 minutes of playing time. Whenever Oklahoma was poised to have a run, TJ was there to stop all of their momentum and manipulate the tempo of the game. In Game 5, TJ was on another level, navigating defenses and treating them like kids. TJ scored 18 points on 58% shooting and became the second leading scorer out of all the Pacer players. TJ continued his brilliance in Game 6, filling up the stat sheet with 12 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds, and 4 steals. At this point, TJ was already making history. In Game 7, the 2 most beautiful words in sports, TJ once again showed up, putting the entire team on his back when all hopes were lost, putting bucket after bucket after bucket. But the reigning MVP and the Oklahoma City Thunder were just too much to handle without Haliburton. Despite losing the NBA Finals, TJ McConnell forever etched his name in the history books, as he now holds the NBA record for most points, assists, rebounds, and steals by a bench player in an NBA Finals. From a scrawny kid from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, to the history books of the NBA, and now as a vet with a taste of what it's like to compete at the highest level, TJ's hunger for that long-awaited championship ring still lingers. Watch your back, Indiana Pacers, because all 29 teams are watching. One slip in the free agency market, and TJ will definitely get suitors from multiple championship contending teams. He may be 33 years old, but this is only the start for TJ McConnell. And as Tyrese Haliburton said, he's the Great White Hope.